We do begin tonight with breaking news. 3 people shot in front of a driver's license branch full of people. It is our top story. I'm Shay McAllister.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Police are searching for the gunman right now. It happened on Dixie Highway, not far from the Gene Snyder Freeway. A busy afternoon at noon, happening the shooting about noon outside the regional driver's license branch there in Valley Station. It was a busy time on this Friday, and like many other driver's license bureaus, full of customers who were standing in line.
That's where we find WHAS 11's Ian Hardwitt and Emma Gefter tonight. Ian, is that scene still active there?
Yeah, the scene is still fairly active, Shay. However, the very grim task of taking out one of the bodies here has just wrapped up. And behind me, we can see here that the PRP fire department has shown up. Now, I've seen enough of these to know that when this shows up, that means it's time to clean the scene. And unfortunately, you can see to the right of the fire truck here, there are several people still gathered outside as police finish up their witness interviews. We heard from one of those eyewitnesses earlier today. He was here waiting outside the office.
I saw only he's coming like running with the pistol and towards us and start to boo, boo, boo. And I hide between 2 cars.
This man was one of many waiting in line outside at the driver's licensing office when the shots were fired. He did not want to be identified, but he'd been waiting for 3 hours to get service. He wasn't shot, but 3 other people outside were. 1 man died on scene, 2 women died after reaching the hospital.
It's absolutely a tragedy, and I'm surprised that there wasn't more people injured with as many people were standing outside. But as far as any details into what occurred, I just can't speak to them right now. We're still monitoring video cameras and things like that.
Kentucky Transportation Cabinet officials said all employees here were safe. Customers at the scene told me those workers got everyone inside and turned out the lights. LMPD believes there's no threat to the public, even without having a suspect in custody.
But they did flee the scene, according to witnesses in a vehicle.
Family and friends waited, huddled nervously in the cold as officers interviewed witnesses. Some made their way out after the first hour. Charlotte Ray lives nearby. The grim scene brought back the grief of losing her youngest son.
There just doesn't seem to be an ending to it. All I can say is that have faith in God and He'll get you through it.
That's where the man who was there gives credit.
God saved me.
Everyone inside the building later made it out safely. Now, as we come back live to this scene, you can see the fire truck behind me is now blocking where they're starting to clean up where this tragedy happened. Doug, Shay?
Ian, we're going to show people what the governor said today in just a second, but first, he's praising those workers in that office. I know you learned more about what they actually did when the shots were fired outside.
Yeah, they told people to get inside and hit the deck. They turned out the lights, they locked the door, and there was security on staff here at the office. At least that's what Kentucky transportation officials have told us today, Doug.
All right, Ian, thank you very much.
The Kentucky governor posted this statement on social media today, calling it a senseless act of violence, going on to thank law enforcement and the KYTC team members that were there at the office. He says that they worked quickly to protect their fellow Kentuckians.
Now, we also contacted KYTC, the headquarters. They sent us a statement saying, in part, we are thankful that all our employees are safe, and our hearts go out to the victims of the incident. We remain focused on our customers and employee safety. We are working with the Louisville Police Department as they investigate, and we have no further details at this time. Don't forget, a lot more on this is coming up tonight at 6. Our Jose Alonso will be joining Ian Hardwitt to continue our coverage. And remember, you can get the latest information straight to your cell phone by downloading the free WHAS 11 app.
Happy Friday, everybody. The sun coming out to greet us today as we begin the weekend. Certainly a nice change of pace.
Earlier, though, I did still see some remaining snow flurries, as Ben would call them, the happy, friendly snow flurries we like around Kentuckiana. And Ben, I did feel the warm-up, some of the melting beginning.
Yeah, no more snow talk, Doug, for a long time here. This morning we started off around 0 in some areas, the low in the city at 10, but some spots even made it to below 0 around Brandenburg early this morning. But a nice rebound here, our first time above freezing since last Sunday. at 34 degrees. So a lot of that kind of dry, fluffy snow has been melting off since it didn't have a lot of moisture content to it. Temps across the area in the upper 20s and lower 30s, sitting right at 30 in Corden. Elizabethtown, you've got 28 and the same in Lebanon, Kentucky. Clouds off to our east, so a pretty clear sky overhead as we look ahead with Futurecast. It'll be a little chilly out there this evening as we drop into the 20s, and then teens for our overnight low temperatures around 15 to 20 in most locations if you're up and out early tomorrow morning. But tomorrow afternoon, southwest wind sunshine gets us into the upper 30s, warming up day by day with a dry weather trend. So there you go, clear and 20s this evening to an overnight low of 18 degrees, around 33 at noon tomorrow, and that forecast high at 39. We're going to be looking ahead to some much warmer weather next week. Might be talking some 60s for the first time in a long time.
McConnell's decision to step down really puts a final punctuation mark on the Reagan-Bush era Republican Party. That Republican Party is mostly gone.
Day after Senator Mitch McConnell announces he's going to be retiring at the end of his term and not running again in 2026. We're getting insight on what the race for his seat could look like. It is already out of the starting gate. Early contenders emerging with the looming question of who, if anybody, may get the endorsement of President Donald Trump.
So far, the only Kentucky Republican to officially announce his bid for Senate is the former Attorney General Daniel Cameron. But Isaiah Kim Martinez is talking to people who believe he may not be the clear-cut front runner. So Isaiah, what have you heard today?
Well, Shay, Doug, there's still some talk about his loss to Andy Beshear, Governor Andy Beshear, in that 2023 race. But let's start with what experts are saying, and there's somewhat of a consensus that Daniel Cameron, Kentucky's former Attorney General, still brings that name recognition statewide, and Congressman Andy Barr of Lexington will have the financial resources early on, serving in the U.S. House since 2013. So far, Cameron is the only Republican to officially announce his bid to fill McConnell's seat. Barr says he's considering it, indicating he would fight for Trump and his America First agenda. Then there's the wild card, entrepreneur Nate Morris, who has roots right here in Louisville. He hasn't officially announced, but has strongly voiced the need for an outsider who will break away from McConnell's control. I talked to retired Louisville Congressman Democrat John Yarmuth for insight.
I think Andy Barr has to be a favorite in the race. If it's a small field. Daniel Cameron ran and lost, and I think when you've lost a statewide race as a Republican in a Republican state, I'm not sure that Republican voters would want to give you another chance.
Yarmuth there talking about Cameron's loss to Democrat Andy Beshear in the 2023 governor's race. Meanwhile, for Democrats, State Representative Pamela Stevenson of Louisville has said she'll throw her hat in the ring. Her campaign advisor told me over the phone today they would have interviewed, but she's feeling under the weather. The primary for McConnell's seat is next May. I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, Isaiah, thank you. And right here at 5 o'clock, a lawmaker from Bardstown has filed a bill directly related to the Crystal Rogers case. House Bill 623 comes in response to this shocking moment at Brooks Houck's arraignment when prosecutor Shane Young alleged his family had secretly recorded grand jury proceedings.
Defendant's sister, Rhonda McEvoy Houck, brother Nicholas Houck, mother Rosemary Houck, brother-in-law Alex McEvoy, and Rosemary Houck's live-in boyfriend, Larry Mont, all recorded, secretly brought in recorders and recorded the grand jury. I've been practicing here, Your Honor, for 25 years in this state, and I have yet, ever, heard of anyone recording a grand jury.
In a clear violation of Kentucky law, none of the Houcks faced criminal charges because the statute of limitations for this crime is currently just 1 year. Under House Bill 623, the statute of limitations is extended to 10 years. It will be a misdemeanor charge for anyone to record or disclose information from a grand jury proceeding, and it will be a Class D felony if a public servant commits the crime. Sherry Ballard told us today, quote, "I'm thrilled they're doing this. It's not the victim's fault that it takes that many years for a case to be prosecuted. It's too late for me, but if another family doesn't have to go through what I have, it is worth it."
We're following more local news right here tonight at 5 o'clock. Louisville civil rights leaders again today say they don't want the federal consent decree and its enforcement to get lost and the concern that that's what's happening already. Louisville's consent decree agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice remains on hold. It's been nearly 2 months after President Donald Trump's new Justice Department leadership put a freeze on civil rights litigation in the country. At Bishop Dennis Lyons' roundtable, the Bishop's Table, early this morning, Lyndon Pryor with the Louisville Urban League says Louisville should implement the consent decree, regardless of federal support.
The city has already agreed to hire an independent monitor, so that process needs to move forward. There needs to be an independent monitor who is going to do it. And so we can have the decree that we deserve, with or without a federal judge.
In a letter sent to the mayor, the Urban League is asking him to establish a robust community oversight board and ensure transparency and accountability in every step of the consent decree implementation process.
This weekend will mark 1 week since a Metro Corrections officer was shot and killed in an alley in the Russell neighborhood. There are still no answers as to who's responsible. Officer Michael Wetta had just graduated from the Metro Corrections Training Academy in November. Now his colleagues are working hard to help the family he left behind. Chief Jerry Collins and FOP Lodge are organizing some fundraisers to assist the family. Collins and the Lodge president joined us today on an earlier show. They told us the support for the Corrections Department has been overwhelming, but they really want that support to be on the family.
We've had a lot of support from local agencies, from jails around the state to LMPD, the fire department, ABC, just an outpouring of support getting us through this, but I think we really got to focus on supporting the family.
And you can get out your phone and scan this QR code here on your screen. It will take you right to their fundraiser. So far, they've raised more than $5,000. That will all go to his family. There's also some other ways to help. You can play a game of bingo at Bingo City Breckenridge. All proceeds on February 27th will be donated to the officer's family. Roosters on Dixie Highway is doing a buffet-style dinner on March 4th from 6 to 9, donating part of the proceeds. And Topgolf is currently looking for sponsors to help with a future fundraiser.